comedians. Do you suggest I get a manager to be able to move out of the Florida area?
No. The answer is this. You don't need this is what you got to think about a manager, okay? A manager representation. They can only sell the things you have given them, okay? Like a good script, a special that you did, something. Here's a body of work on social media. You can look at her voice, you got to think about this. If you were going to sell you, what would you say in the meeting? What can you give somebody and leave somebody to see that represents you? They go, wow, we got to be a part of getting this out. So you don't need a manager to go to LA. You need motivation to go to LA work.
With that, do you suggest that comedians in other cities move to LA or New York?
Depends on what you want to do. It depends on what you want to do. It really does. I can't, you know what I mean? Like if you want, I want to be a playwright, you can do plays and, it really depends on what you want to do. If I want to be a touring one of the best comedians, what you do is you become one of the best comedians in your city, and then you get too big for where you are, and I gotta go. Because at some point, like Chris Rock did an interview that I remember in Rolling Stone magazine, and he said, your career doesn't begin until you go to LA or New York. Because then in that city, like I told you, it's relationships. You don't realize how those relationships can come back to play in your favor years from now. So you gotta make that choice. You gotta know what you wanna do. If you wanna write for television, yeah, you gotta go to LA or New York, because they're not writing television shows in Florida or in Chicago. And even if they are, they're bringing people the best from there and bringing them there. We do Atlanta. Tyler Perry does, all that. They get a lot of the main star actors come from LA and they bring them to Atlanta. And then they cast the other supporting roles around. Sure, you could get picked up and get put on that show as the best friend, but cast out of New York, cast out of Chicago or whatever, and it become boom. There's no blueprint. But for the most part, depending on what you want to do, you want to go to one of the biggest cities that are doing it.